Your thoughts on this game, and you could sum it up the way the season has been.
Oh, the game sort of sums up the season. It's I thought there was better intent today with the bat, and that's something we've been looking for, is just to free up. We've been sort of tense, so we haven't been creating pressure on the bowlers and also losing wickets. So today we were trying to be more positive, or deliver a more positive performance. I thought we showed that. I thought Brevis was outstanding, and again, we're probably victim to a match-winning catch. It was going well. That was an outstanding catch. We had Ryan Parag in a game at Guwahati who took a great catch as well. So a couple of key moments there that they earned and did well. But then it was sort of like it was two teams that were nervous about winning, going hammer and tong on a tough wicket. And it was tough to watch. We created some chances, and which, to be fair, with the ball we have at times during this tournament, but we were just probably 25 runs short of a match-winning score. Yeah, it's a more positive performance, but again, there's still some clumsy errors at crucial times that it just put us back. When you're building a bit of momentum and some pressure, and we just couldn't sustain that long enough, unfortunately.
Coach, now that at this stage of the IPL you are looking at players who are new players.
Yeah.
Do you think, with the help of hindsight, that you, for once, you got it wrong on the auction table?
It's hard to say we got it completely right with the performances that we've had. So we have been looking over that in detail, just around our style of play. Also looking at how the game is evolving. And it's not easy. And that's why we're proud of our record today, that we've been able to be consistent for so long. And it doesn't take much for it to go another way. Other teams have got better, and that's the point of the auction. But we just haven't been able to get it right. So you take responsibility from the top down, and then you just ask a little bit more of the players. But yeah, that has to be an area where we need to reflect and say it wasn't as good as what it could have been, or it hasn't worked out how we wanted. But it's also not a perfect science. The auction is a very fluid beast. It's like buying 25 houses. So you come away at the end of it mentally and sometimes physically exhausted. And to be fair, I still think we've got a good squad. We're not far away. A couple of key injuries, just a bit of a lack of form, and we've just struggled really to nail a game plan. Chopped and changed too much, but I think was trying to look for something that perhaps we felt wasn't there. So yeah, there's a lot of responsibility and soul searching, and certainly starts with me at the top, 100%.
Coach, a couple of questions. Patinana came into the season slightly a different action.
Yeah.
And just about he hasn't been as effective as he was in the previous season. How much of it is down to the action change? And secondly, in 2020, when you had didn't qualify for the knockouts, you came back with next season you built with a normal batting day. Then 2022, you chose to have firepower in the middle overs, especially between 7 to 15, you had the scoring rate. So this time, have you had the chance to reflect as to what you have to do differently going forward?
We're not far away. I know it seems for fans to be hard to hear, but our top three is really crucial. And we've just struggled to be consistent with selection with that and form, so a bit of both. Losing Rutu is a big blow. He's our absolutely class act at the top. If you look around the tournament, you see teams that are doing well. The majority of the runs is coming from the bulk of the runs is coming from the top, and then it all flows into place. So we haven't had that, and we've just stuttered our way. Our middle order has been out of order, and it's just sort of flowing on. But we haven't been as good as we could be. Some of our game sense and some of our shot selection, it's a mixture of trying to be smart and also watching a lot of sixes and fours. I'm a believer that the game hasn't evolved that much. So just trying to be smart and trying to be positive and give evidence that percentages still work. But all around there's a bit of chaos, isn't there, with teams playing well. And I think I said it in a Grumpy interview a few weeks ago that we'll see it towards the end of the tournament, which team will come through. And it's an intriguing watch to see settled sides and teams with younger sort of flair battling it out and watching the cream rise. And I will watch with interest to see towards the end what the highest run scorers are and what teams are doing well, because that's part of the reflection as you move forward. We're trying to bolt things on all the time. I thought Brevis was excellent today. Mahatre has been refreshing. We're giving guys opportunities, and that is something that often doesn't come along in an IPL, and you don't want it to come along. It's an unwanted bonus, so we will work very hard on every game to try and find some more answers for next year, and that includes the whole squad. So that's a good challenge to have. Padarana in South Africa, he was way off, and yes, there was an issue with his action, and that might be a question for Sri Lankan cricket. But we've certainly looked to try and get him back into form and get him back to what we think is his best action and his best opportunity performing well. He's not far away. He's made a massive improvement in the 2 months since South Africa. And we just hope he keeps making that improvement. Part of his evolution is he is going to try things and be asked to try things, and he will settle at some point on an action that will give him the best results. He bowled 2 good overs today, but again, it's just that ability to sustain the pressure, and with that action, you need to be spot on. So there's a little bit of leeway with that everything has to be in the right sync to go well.
Today you had a lot of changes coming in, and you had Deepak Huda in place of Vijay Shankar.
Yeah.
What was the exact thought process behind bringing him back?
Vijay hasn't been in great form. He is a versatility player up and down, but he hasn't had the returns that he would like or we would like, and it's that point of the tournament where we are looking for a little bit of change, one to find out where players are at looking forward, and also to give opportunities to players who are performing well or doing well in the nets and in warm-up games. We're doing a lot of work away from the stadium and just making sure that we are giving these guys the best opportunity to perform. So opportunities come when teams aren't clicking, and Huda just got a chance today.
You have video analysts monitoring the entire match. In the 17th over, did you get any specific inputs? Instead of Patirana, Kamboja, Kali, they had 1 over left. Had they bowled, things could have been different. We don't know. But since you have an analysis with artificial intelligence, things could have been different.
Yeah, I guess. The game's not at that point. I know England used to use a system of cards, but we've got a captain out there that's got one of the best cricket brains in the world who's pulling the strings, and I'm a firm believer that the beauty of this game is that it's predominantly still controlled on field. So I'm very loath to be instruction based. I know there's a big push for it, but I think upskilling players and doing a lot of work off the field is still the beauty of this game, and empowering players to think for themselves rather than becoming robotic is something that I'd like to treasure.
That's right.
Hi Stephen, despite the team's disappointing run, fans are turning up in big numbers and rallying around the team. Most of them are very emotional, and they have an emotional connect with the CSK. Probably CSK has the biggest fan base in IPL. So what is your message to them, and what can they expect from the team in the remaining matches?
We're well aware of the support, and it's not just at home, it extends throughout India. We understand the effect MS Dhoni has with our support, but when we see the amount of yellow that turn up game after game, certainly here at Chepauk, but when we're around the country experiencing that, there is a responsibility that we feel, and it's a heavy one, and to not reward that with performances weighs very heavy on the group, I can assure you that. Look, we've had some good seasons, this is not a good season, but the fan support has been unwavering, and that's what you ask, that there's a balance of understanding that we can't win everything. We'd love to be at the pointy end all the time, and our record suggests we're pretty close, but I'm really proud of the support we get, and I'm disappointed and heavy that this season has gone the way it's gone, and that reflects all the players that are involved. When they come to play for Chennai, one of the things they look forward to is being in yellow in front of a yellow crowd, and to not perform up to our expectations, but more importantly the fans' expectations, leaves us very empty. So what they will get is an absolutely strong commitment that we will do everything in the next few matches to play well. We still want to win games, but we also will do everything we can to improve the squad, our philosophy, and there will be no stone unturned in terms of our reviewing what we've done and what we need to do, and that's a commitment that I'll give back to them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
2 games before this match, SRH won both high-scoring matches, but one of the things that's gone under the radar is probably how well the bowlers have performed in the remaining games despite the result not going your way. How crucial was that, especially on a pitch like this, with the dew and the other things that's coming around, in terms of how the bowlers done?
Yeah, I think we we were fortunate in winning the toss and being able to bowl first to mitigate a little bit of that dew. I think even during our bowling innings, there was some times where we felt it was becoming an issue. I think you saw Zishan wiping the ball. So to get through that, and particularly to break that partnership, Brevis was looking fantastic, took the game on and started to show what you could do on that surface when you put pressure back on bowlers. So the catch by Kamindu and then the bowling to follow that up, I think that led to the ability to restrict Chennai to that score, and there were, I think every bowler contributed to that, and so that's the pleasing aspect when you put together a team performance, because that's what's been lacking for us this year. We haven't been able to put together all three facets.
Today, Nitish Reddy played lower down the order, and the Aniket came up. Will it be the same going forward?
The initial plan was around left-right hand combinations, and that's in a way to counter Noor and Jadu and how good they are through those middle stages. That's why Kamindu came in today, because of his ability to play spin, his left-handedness. So I think we just saw an opportunity to go left-right hand and Aniket to go out there and be aggressive, and that's the only way he knows. And then to have that luxury of having Nitish there to finish the innings off in a slightly different role was just what we needed.
I mean, there are quite a few left-arm spinners in the tournament whom you are impressed with among the youngsters, whom you think can make the next level.
I think Jadeja's got a big future. I think he can really kick on.
That's why I'm asking you for my.
I'm trying to think. Satna's obviously been fantastic for Mumbai. Jadu here. Harpreet Brah's got a few opportunities with Punjab. Remind me who the rest who's been playing. Saika Shaw's been the pick. He's been fantastic, and I think he was a guy that we looked at very closely in the auction and wanted him in the team. And he has all the attributes of a very good limited overs bowler. He's very brave. He has the ability to turn the ball, changes his pace over and around the wicket, and I think it sort of sets up a template for other spinners to see how you can actually compete and succeed. And he's done it on good batting wickets as well. I know he came to Hyderabad and bowled exceptionally well. So I think he's been incredibly impressive.
Can you just have a word on this Kamindu Mendis' ability to kind of bowl decently with both hands, like it's freak. So and the package that he is with the catch, the batting, like the kind of, he has been a test success, but in IPL we are seeing him for the first time being so good. So if you can just explain that thing.
I mean, I think a lot of the logic was picking him for this ground here, that we knew what sort of surface would come up against, and to have a batsman who has the ability to play all types of spin, be aggressive, be able to hit a multitude of shots. So that's the starting point, is batting. And then I think I probably didn't quite appreciate how good his bowling was with both arms, and his ability to go back and forward and control his pace and even change his pace is a real skill. And I know he prefers probably, I think, right arm sometimes, but he still can compete. And to have that match up against a guy like Dubey, that was really important for us today, knowing that how aggressive Dubey is against the ball spinning back in. So at least to give us one option to take it away, it balanced our team perfectly for today.
Hey coach, you touched on Kamindu's catch. Could you just talk us through the kind of thing a player has to do to take a catch like that? And when someone takes a catch like that, they can't stop talking about it. So come into the dressing rooms.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Sinhalese in our dressing room in the last little while, which obviously I don't understand. There's a lot of Tamil which I don't understand as well. Look, I think it's just instinct. It's an innate ability to be able to move, to see the ball and time your diving. So it's probably one of those catches that even a brilliant fielder only has one or two in their career. So special moment for him to catch, but more importantly for us, the moment in the game where Brevis was starting to take control, putting a lot of pressure back on us, and if he'd stayed in, I'd probably, the score would have gotten away on us, and it would have been a difficult chase.
Hi Daniel, congrats on the win.
Thank
Just
you.
wanted to talk to you about the batting effort in these slow, sticky conditions, which SRH batters have not particularly enjoyed in the past.
No, we haven't, and we've encountered them away and we've encountered them at home, so it hasn't quite matched up with our expectations around the surfaces. But the onus is on us to adapt and understand what's required, and once again, that's why the likes of Kamindu came into the team. That's why there was the shuffle in the batting order, putting class up and putting Nitish down, just to give us probably a more balanced approach to a chase in particular. So. I mean, we have to get better at these surfaces. There's no doubt about that, because if our bowlers put up performances like that, then we have to complement that. And like I said right at the start, we just haven't put together three facet performances, and fortunately today was the day that we did.
Coach, just carrying forward from the last question, you've played like high risk approach through the last season. So given on these sort of pitches, do you still prefer encourage your batsmen to do that, or you prefer having a controlled aggression or intent?
I think for us, well, if you're listening on our conversations, we give a license to obviously Travis and Abhishek to play their natural game, and the rest of the lineup is simply about understanding and assessing conditions. So there's certainly no instructions from myself or Harish, the batting coach, to be aggressive, to just take the game on recklessly, and that's the same with Abby and Travis. But we know they're aggressive players, and we know when they dominate that power play, then more often than not it sets us up for a victory. So we want to encourage that. We want them to still understand what conditions provide, but overall we just have to assess and adapt a bit better. Thank you guys.